Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. A warm welcome to you. Good morning. This webinar actually will take us and we will dive all together in a specific topic that we have chosen for you today. And for the moment, let's wait a few seconds for upcoming attendees who may join us very soon so that they can follow us since the beginning of the presentation. I think we can kick it ahead, let's say, and let's start by a simple presentation of myself. Actually, I'm Soufiane Chemsi. I have been working for Stilog since over 10 years now. It goes so quick. And today, actually, we have decided to share with you this an hour during this webinar and about the topic scheduling that shapes an efficient operational performance thanks to Visual Planning 9. By the way, Visual Planning 9 is the latest version of Visual Planning that has been released last June this year. Maybe from among the participants, there are attendees who knows already about Visual Planning, others know. So my presentation, this webinar will take us through different steps. Maybe for those who know Visual Planning may discover something new. And of course, you can contact us at any time. I mean, if you need more info or your direct main contact to get more information about visual planning, generally speaking. And for those who discover the visual planning, I'm happy actually to introduce you to our software solution. And for everyone, don't hesitate to ask questions all along this webinar in the chat, please. Answers to all of your questions will be done at the end of the webinar. So I will take, first in, first out, first question after another, actually, so far. So I'm an international business developer at Stilog I.S.T, and I'm a reseller manager also. I will give you in a little glance some information about visual planning. Our creation actually has been made in 1991, but not with visual planning from the start. Visual planning comes 5 years later. Our company Stilog I.S.T is basically an engineer service provider to large companies, and they are providing specific development IT services in terms of development and programming actually for several clients. And 5 years later, as I said, since the start of Stilog, visual planning has born. So what is visual planning? As its name, says it's software scheduling that deals with different topics, different pain areas, different scheduling, fields. It can be used for intervention, construction, project management, and it doesn't make a difference between the company's sectors or the company sizes, the resource amount to be managed within the system, and we'll discover this all along this webinar. We are today actually over 175 employees for both activities, engineering service providing and for visual planning. And we have over 200,000 users all over the world, over 40 countries as far as I remember. You can see here some very prestigious clients as Siemens or as Airbus or Engie, Equans for today actually, Sanofi or other ones, universities. You see, it has a variety of typology of clients, and all of them uses visual planning, not specifically for managing their main activities, sometimes about managing projects at a larger scale and so on. In any case, visual planning remains a very open software, and its openness actually pleases our clients so far. So today, actually, we will go through 3 different parts. Why we are here is for the main topic about performance, operational performance, how it goes actually, and how visual planning can deal with that. And we will have a demo session altogether also. And in the end, as I said previously, We will tackle, we'll have a little conclusion, and we'll tackle the questions, the Q&A part. So let's start. Operational performance challenges that I have mainly, let's say, selected for this webinar. Or of course, there are several ones, so many actually that are that they are, affecting the market and affecting companies in terms of how to be more efficient and bring more performance in terms of management, in terms of monitoring the operations in the field or in the back office also. So the first point is about sharing the right info, accurate info, and the right data. So, which is, in my eyes, a central key to efficient team and cross-team work. It's not only about a single team within a specific company, specific business unit or department or service. It's also how teams across different services can work all together. Visual planning actually today actually has proved that we can, cross come over different scheduling needs, requirements, business rules, activities, and make them all together, all mixed up, so it can ease the work for everyone. So, except from the accurate data and information that is communicated within software solutions or between the different teams, there are also documents. We generate documents all along the day as team members of companies, and several of them are dedicated to internal processes or internal communication, and also more especially to the external world, let's say to customers and prospects, for instance. So internal and external documents can ease the life of different team members to access when they are located somewhere where first of all secure and then well organized. This keeps, for example, a good track of how things evolve within a project, for instance. The third point is about making more automation, more automatisms, automating processes that can save us time or can give us different scenarios that we can check before validating the next forecast, for example, for the different projects that are upcoming and nearby or on a long-term basis. So we will check and see later on how visual planning actually can bring such efficiency in terms of automation, and this will be just a little window to explore things in this way. The fourth point and the last one that brought by this webinar is KPIs. When we are talking about performance, of course, we need to build up indicators, we need to build up different reports, dashboards, for instance, that are responding real time for the different members and different profiles that are involved within a specific project or activity to be managed. This brings us to raise the question on how visual planning, regarding these challenges that we have just seen, visual planning 9 specifically, can ease the day-to-day work and collaboration to bring about a higher performance management and higher performance results in different ways, from different angles. As I said, visual planning is the latest version that we have released, and we have brought over 70 new features, small and major ones, of course. And the spirit of visual planning remains, for those who knows about visual planning, the same in terms. It's a calendar, resources, we cross them, and then dragging and dropping and crossing these different resources can give us more information, create activities, follow-ups. We can create indicators, different view customizable ones to different profiles different team members' roles and groups, and can help actually the different users. So know how visual planning with its new capabilities can drive operational business success within a specific company, a specific, let's say, when we are talking about management and performance and needs requirements, there are for sure some pain areas that we need to deal with or to optimize or to create from scratch or to drop off the usage of several tools within the same service or different similar services, and bring narrow down actually the usage of a specific tool to few solutions that can communicate between each other also, and they can um, allow us to to avoid redundancy and to be operationally effective. The four major capabilities that visual planning 9 has brought that I would like to share with you mainly today. Of course, we'll be seeing different things through the demo that we'll see in a moment, but still, these are the four main ones that I would say can be shared with you today for this during this webinar. So first one, automatic resource assignment. This brings us to the challenges regarding automatisms. Please know that within visual planning, we can create automatisms within the application itself, and we can make also automatisms that can call other servers, for instance, to check things before scheduling things or creating things, modifying items into visual planning, for instance. And of course, visual planning, for those who discover visual planning for the first time, we have an API that is dedicated to visual planning that uses the native features of the application. And thanks to this, developers in our customer side can build nice and efficient extra tools that are on visual planning to ease the work, day-to-day work. We're going to go through to see actually the notifications, alerts, constraints also that can help the decision making in booking some resources and assigning some activities, tasks to the right person, and informing live, real time, the other party actually about the changes that have been made into the application. Talking about documents, documents also can uh, have been can be was visual planning previous version were able to store documents in different attachments fields, but today actually the new capability of visual planning 9 is about storing and centralizing documents as an EDM to ease the work through documents between the different, as I said, for internal usage and for external usage also. Last but not least, Visual VP Portal. VP Portal is, by the way, is a light application of visual planning, which has seen new changes, very positive changes and capabilities that has been brought from rich clients, which we call VP Desk, Visual Planning, the heavy version, and that can be used by several types of users actually, as on a desktop mode, on tablets also. Talking about the different ways to access visual planning, so there are mainly three ones: VP Desk, which is Rich Client, as I said a moment ago, and VP Portal, the web application that based on has been built thanks to with HTML5, and VP Go, which is a smartphone application. So visual planning, what is this application? Visual planning is, since we started, the experience of visual planning is a drag and drop software solution. Drag a specific resource on a specific line of project, line of order, work order, or equipment, for instance, to create new entities as new activities, tasks, subtasks, phases, milestones, and can be actually structured in the way you need it. So the access to the same database can, be dispatched through the three different ways, whether through VP Desk, web application, VP Portal, or the smartphone also, that you can see on the right hand here on this screen. Visual planning remains a user-friendly interface, collaborative one, and a 100% this can be a bespoke software scheduling solution and can be used in different devices. And of course, as the openness of visual planning, brings us to talk about the API, which is very, very appreciated by the IT departments in the client side, on the client side. Visual planning with its three, let's say, terminals can be deployed whether on the cloud, on-premise, or on-premise subscription, for instance. On-premise subscription is when you install on your premises and then you rent a license on a yearly basis. So far, I invite you to dive into a demo so that we can share more experience together about visual planning. So let me share my screen. And first, let me guide you into what you see here. This is typically what we call a dashboard. This is not a new feature of visual planning, but it has been enhanced to be more smooth, to be smoother actually for already the community that is already using visual planning. A dashboard can be configured. By the way, we can configure as many dashboards as we want, depending on the needs, depending on the role of the group that would be accessing such views. And we can play with this different puzzle items, which we call widgets, as we want. Actually, we can add different types, as we can see here. This is the weather of Paris and Bordeaux in France. Both cities are in France, of course. Here we have the sold amount this month, this week, for it can be for my project, or in this case actually for the current projects. I have here one new project that has been encoded in the system, so I have to have a look at it and process it so that you can start the process of managing it. This month I can have these KPIs. For example, this month we have 4 absences, 4 people absent. And by the way, just below here we have the same, but in a different way. We can see actually who is absent this month, the typology of the absence, and the duration of the absence. Still on the left side, this is an average rate calculated on the basis of all projects that is included into the demo, this specific example. And we see here the average exceeded days compared to what we have planned initially. Here we have we have 7 days exceeding, let's say, duration. We can have also typically such reports to see actually quickly how, for example, in this case, the team workload evolved through time in terms of days workload and in terms of also of cost. And these are customizable widget reports, of course, that are updated automatically as long as as the different users, usage visual planning. Also, just on the top here, you can see the upcoming deadlines of my projects. So Typically, actually, here I have um, some project that will have a deadline this month, so I need to have a look at them to see if everything is going fine, to allocate the right resources and so on, which you can see on the next stage. In any case, these such information is accessible, clickable, and we can have additional windows as this one, customized one, to see exactly actually, for instance, this is a milestone, a delivery milestone that is due to 23rd of October this year, and it has a schedule, a status as scheduled, and we can. It's about the webinar demo project, and we can actually just go and see actually all around it if everything is fine in terms of management and supervising. Just next to it, actually, these are the project tasks that are, to be done, to be worked on this week. And we can see here that we have several um, tasks that different team members need to work on specific days. And just on the bottom, on the top right-hand side of this dashboard, we have shortcuts, different shortcuts to my schedules, to my favorite displays that we can also access here in this workspace button. Please keep in mind that dashboards can be built and adapted according to the different needs. So for example, I can see only the amount of how, the new project I have, um, my absences, for example, for the first semester, and we can imagine other, KPIs just to have in a glance. A to-do list, for example, what I have to do this morning, today, or this week, like, according to the priority of what I have, for example, mentioned individual planning and so on. Let's dive into the demo more deeply, and what you can see here is a mixture of different windows that has been aligned, this way specifically, and we can of course change them. Let's start with the biggest block, which is the central one. On the left hand of this window, you can see here the different project that I have here going on, and for different clients, for example, LineWave, LPWC, Samsung, etc. I have here some more details about this project, just displayed here in this zone. I have the scheduled days that I can follow up with different threshold colors that can warn me, alert me whenever I'm almost about to exceed, the estimated days and sold days to the client. So the more the color is darkens, the more we are about actually to actually to exceed actually our scheduled days. Of course, we can double click on any of these projects and just have this very rich, let's say, window, which can give us access to different elements that we can typically make different categories, and we can manage, of course, the layout as we want. For instance, this column deals with the project details, the name of the project, the client that we are working for this project. You can have an order ID that is automatically generated. This is an external project because this is for a client, for the clients called Stone Key. And Roberta is taking the lead on this project as a project manager. And this is a confirmed, project so far. We can add comments here and attachments also. We come back to attachments more deeply later on with VP Documentum. Second column, I can just fill in, the targeted end dates for my project so that I can abide by it. So it's next year, so I still have some time. And here I have different KPIs, different figures that are automatically calculated or manually entered in initially. For example, here, I would say for this project, I need 10 days. I have sold to my customer 10 days to manage the different tasks. And I need an expert for 15 days, an engineer for 30 days, and the total number of days is just automatically calculated here. And so far, you can see here that the sold days, the total sold days is 55 days, and the total scheduled and planned days is 52. So we're about actually to schedule all the days that we have planned, we have estimated for this client, we have sold to this client. So we need to be more careful. That's why actually we have some color code in here to see quickly actually that we are about to schedule everything. So we need to manage what we have scheduled and pay attention to the any exceeding days to be planned for, typically for project management, for instance. On the row here, you have different traits depending on the profile of the team member, project management expert, or engineer teams. And these are the rates actually that has been agreed with the customer so far. On the left hand, we have also actually who has created this and the time and so on. And thanks to this history, we can even have activate a detailed history to see more in depth how and when and what each user has done, achieved within the system so far in terms of data updating or creating or deleting, etc. On the left hand, we can have even more information about a specific project. You can go to project activities. Here we have the project list, activities that we have, planned so far. Of course, everything is clickable, so we can check more in depth what is to come for with this project task and so on. I can change statuses, for instance, for the activity summary. I would say that it's achieved. I can add a comment, for instance, that EDM is about to be finished, final phase to be prepared. For example, if I have a steering committee that it has to be planned, just to study up the different, topics that are on hold. This is the high time actually to plan this, for instance, and I can validate whenever I make typically modifications on a specific project activity. And just below, I have all the tasks related to this project listed here above, and here I have a comparison between what I have scheduled and what has been estimated budget initially in terms of days. The color coding, as you can see here in the different windows, is very important and can help us, visually speaking, see what is to be watched out and to be supervised closely, so to not to exceed certain thresholds or not to overbook some colleagues from the team member. And also we can have here actually the milestones of the project just filtered over here, and we can, for example, add comments in case we need to share some information. For example, here I would say, so as far as I remember, it's Roberta who is taking the lead of this project as a project manager. So I would say, Roberta, thank you, thanks for managing the conflict on hold. This doing so actually allows us to send notifications, comments that can be sent automatically and tagged to the other party, for instance to Roberta for this project. I have already actually created another access. Here is Roberta White's, actually RWS for its initials, and I can see here that for this project actually there is a tag here, a bar mentioning and highlighting that there is a new comment that has been added for this project. So whenever, for example, me as Roberta, a team member, actually checks this out and just consulted, we can see here that the notifications has been disappears, and this can help the team members to see what's new, what's to follow up, what's to see in terms of, for example, in terms of comments. Just close this one and come back to my super admin login. So far, actually, this is more or less, about the central part. Of course, here we have different tasks that have been planned for the different project that I have here. And in case I would like to create a new project, I can, for example, create a new OPWX Petro as a new name of the project. They can select a new um, uh, customer for this project, or just one from the list that I have. The ID will be created automatically. I can choose which service is that, what type of service is that, and then I can just mention it as scheduled, for instance, and I can say that my deadline is the end of the year. And for the rates and so on, I check later on with the customer to populate, the rest of the information. Here we have the new line of our new project, and as I have nothing scheduled in this, we can actually whether start manually scheduling, or we can use what we call templates. Here I have some few templates that have been already created for to manage some types of projects. I may just change the view to take you more in depth actually about templates creation. Here are my templates. Of course, uh, are not actuals. They are only used to plan a certain scheme and a sequence of activities, tasks, and we can even link them, as you can see here, with different links. And we can just create a new one if we desire to, or just use one of the ones we have here. But to create a new template, we can easily right click, as we did for the project, template D, and then I can just start creating my template. I would like it. Sorry, the filter actually has actually this made my new template disappear. But let's say actually we will just go and use an already available template, for instance, template B on my schedule and for my new project, and I have the choice actually whether to start my scheduling from this date that I have selected on the planner, or to stop it there. So it's like a retro scheduling method. So let's say that I would like it to start from here. So here I have actually my different, oh, in this case actually the template came with the different tasks that I would like to manage, but also for some of these tasks that has been brought by the template, we have some employees that have been automatically assigned. In fact, this is a configuration that we have made into visual planning thanks to an import of context of import that brings automatically the right resources according to the right need um, by an import of resource directly into these new lines. Of course, actually, as I can see here, that we have found Jade, who is a project manager as far as I remember, to start this project for both those tasks. However, actually, we didn't find someone who is available as a manager, project manager for this task. So we can go on actually modifying things if we would like to into uh, the the different task, or we can just keep what has been already planned. By the way, I may suggest you to go to another view, which is operational scheduling. Here we have a double planner that are synchronized and that shows on the top actually the projects that have been scheduled as before. Add to this, the employees that are available, the employees planner. For instance, here for my new project, OPWX, I need someone who can manage, for example, the feasibility study. So, for example, I can just do this manually, and I can typically choose someone who is available among the project managers. Unfortunately, here no one is available as a project manager. Maybe actually we can assign an engineer, have some predefined filter to start for the kickoff or the planner, depending actually on the processes and the things that we'd like to be respected into the planner. But we allow actually we leave the decision making to the planner mainly. So here we have scheduled Bianco for this, and of course we can see that Bianco's schedule also has been updated with this new entry here. By the way, actually, as here we have links between the different items to respect a certain delay in terms of management, we have, thanks to Visual Planning 9, a new feature that allows us to see the linked events in terms of predecessors and also successors that are behind, just to see another view actually and to see this specific task is linked to what other one. If, for instance, I would like to, for example, I would like to introduce actually to a new feature that has been brought actually for the V9. For instance, if I take this specific, I may make here. Here we have typically a task that I would like to schedule for project EDM implementation, and here I have, as I have double booked Roberta White, our other colleague actually, for more than 10 hours per day. I have an alert that says that this is not possible. I can just overpass it by saying yes, or I can just um, cancel this and schedule someone who is available. By the way, you can see here that automatically we have been alerted when we have scheduled Roberta by this icon. This means that there's a specific conflict that has been raised when we have done this, which is the non-respect of the 7 hours per day, because she was working here full day, and also all of for intersection of these days here. And also, if I would just go on Roberta's White's schedule, I can see here that I have some some notifications which are real time to tell us that we have scheduled this task specific that we have just done now on the project EDM implementation, so that Roberta can see this quickly. Coming back actually to our conflict that has been generated here and that is shown as an icon, we can manage such conflicts by creating a simple view. For instance, here we have added here a conflict view just to manage all the conflicts in terms of respect of some HR rules or booking rules or any type typology of rules, and just to be able to manage them later on. For instance, here I can just, for example, for Jade, just try to select someone who is available. Of course, let's say we'll take Caroline, and my conflict is solved as we have assigned someone who is available. Still on this project management view, on the bottom actually you have access to what we call a workload, mapping according to the different profiles that we have uh, for managers and also for experts, engineers, technicians. That shows us quickly actually whenever I have availability just or have reached the limit of scheduling on people of my team, just to stop scheduling. So far, whenever we schedule actually different items, we can have access to a Gantt chart according to my projects, which is typically gives us the macro view about the going on of our projects, and we can access easily here. Classic in project management and monitoring actually different items. I would maybe start, introducing you to the new look of VP Portal, which is the web application. I will just refresh my screen. I will connect as RW, Roberta. So Roberta here actually has, access also to her schedule on VP Portal, the light version. And here we have different tabs that can, be clicked on just to, dive from one view to favorite display to another. We have the possibility here, Roberta can schedule time off, absences. For instance, here we have, for example, in this case, it's not the best example, but we can take the example of a time off for the 21st of October. Then I say requested. We can imagine here that we have a validation process between Roberta and the management so that she can, validate her day off or days off, her time off simply later on. So whenever I create, new time off request, actually, of course, it's shared with the manager, and we can just go and plan easily on the different items. Also, actually, we have access to the internal tasks if you would like to add more info or schedule other tasks so far. And by the way, as in the VP desk, the tasks here are clickable, and of course we can add more info and can enrich the info according to the progress of the project. And we can also, thanks to this view, see the team work actually, different tasks that have been assigned to the different team, or of course just to be able, to rely on each other for the different steps of the projects and so on. And we can have, by right-clicking actually on each tile here, some options to edit, what we have here, just to split this task on different days, for example, to assign someone else from another team who is available because I'm going for a time off tomorrow, and or add a new task, for instance. Just in the bottom, we have what you have just seen a few minutes ago, a workload, mapping that show us, how is our team's workload going on. Threshold can be set, and the color coding actually can help us to see who is overloaded. For instance, here Roberta is overloaded actually on from the 15th to the 17th of October. I can have different view types, for example, as my own project, to see them. And still, thanks to this, we can simply go on, scheduling on different teams. We can just right click to have the info of the project. If I need just to modify, for instance, this internal audit and turn it into done, I can just change the status, for example, add more comments. Here, the constraints that we have on the other side, on the VP desk, are also available for VP portal. We have here actually a double schedule. And by the way, one of the new features of VP Portal 9 is the possibility to synchronize different schedules and also to build up in different parts of the screen different items as we wish, as we have seen, for example, on my schedule here. I have my absences here, tasks, internal tasks, and my schedule just above. I would please let you see, for example, how we can declare our timesheet on a scheduled basis. For example, I would say, for example, I have achieved a task, for example, IHM development, and I have worked on this yesterday, so I would like just to declare it, knowing that the workload that has been scheduled for this type of task is 1 day, and I can just mention here the dedicated time that I have spent on this. For example, I would say like 6 hours, and maybe say okay to be validated by the manager. And by doing so, by scheduling my timesheet, actually, whenever I do so, a manager profile actually can go typically actually on its access. For example, here we have planned to do this directly on VP Desk, and we have planned for Roberta. Actually, she just confirmed this new entry of time to be validated by the manager just quickly here, and the manager can just check out if everything is okay and if everything is compliant with actually the manager requirements. Then actually we can validate this and change the status to confirm, so that it can go for the payroll, for instance. Maybe actually I can come back to VP Desk and introduce you to VP Documentum. VP Documentum actually is a new feature of visual planning that allows us actually to store, centralize the documents into one place, and have make different categories if you would like to. Here, for instance, we have created 3 categories: customer documents, projects, training documents. For instance, we can add new ones if we would like to, and then according to the different categories, we can have our documents attached in this very specific space. If we need to add a new version, I can just right click and add a new version. So we have a new line with version 2 of the same document. And we can also filter, the different, for example, if I would like to seek here just my PDF document, regardless the time, I can just look for PDF, or I can just build a filter PDF that contains the keywords, for example, project, training, etc. And you can specify even the category if you want, just to ease the filtering of the documentation. Such documents actually can be assigned to different parts actually of the project, can be dedicated, linked to specific tasks, or just when we create a new field, typically for VP Documentum in this specific task, we can do it, and we can attach as many documents as we would like to. Of course, this is stored on the server, and we can manage easily actually documents as long as they are in one place. And one document can be, of course, assigned to different tasks, different projects, if need be. I see that time flies, and I would be happy actually to go soon actually for the Q&A parts. I would like just to show you quickly some kind of reports that we can build thanks to visual planning here per project. Whenever actually I click on a specific project, I can see the hours, for example, in this part um, the budgeted hours, the logged-in ones estimated, just to compare actually how my project, is progressing. And such reports actually are very customizable, automatically updated as long as we schedule in the system. We can easily change the display if we would like to, and we can make calculations depending actually on the requirements that we'd like to achieve. Um, I may stop actually the presentation here by saying that visual planning mainly and basically is like a toolbox. So if you need to build up a castle, so this castle actually you need to dimension it in terms of how many towers, how many windows, how many rooms, what are these rooms for, apartments, and so on. And this is more or less the spirit of visual planning. And this is what actually our clients likes the most actually in such software solution. It's adaptability and um, into different needs, and thanks to its capabilities and so on. By the way, at the end of this webinar, you will have a very short questionnaire to respond to. So hopefully, actually, you will receive it in the due time, and please don't hesitate to answer it. Thank you. So far, I may say, make an end actually to this presentation, to our topic. And basically, if you have some few questions, we have a few minutes left actually to go for them. Please go ahead actually if you have some questions. I have a question from Christoph here, asking if notifications can be assigned for example, when an assigned task can be pushed to VPGo and VP Desk. Yes, this is a push notification that can be actually deployed on the three terminals. Thank you, Christoph, for this question. I have a second question. It's about how VP Documentum stores document and where. Basically, VP Documentum uses the server to store all the documents. So we have to dimension the server and have enough capacity to store as many documents as we would like to. And of course, we have different ways of storage. For example, we have validated already the Dropbox one and OneDrive, Google Drive, actually, if you need it. Otherwise, typically, you have to dimension your server. Lucas is asking if there will be a search function for admin menu during user import. I may not I don't understand the question very well, but from what I understood is you'd like to be able to search actually regarding the imports if what has been done and what has been achieved in terms of import. Please note that actually we can create a note that to bring all the tags in this note field, comment field, so that we can actually manage, the imported data, whether events or resources, and then maybe create, use them as desired. I have a question from Nathan saying if visual planning can be connected to their payroll system. For example, whenever we encode the different hours, Nathan, we can we can create a link, a bridge with a payroll system or any other system, just to push the actual hours and validated hours to the payroll for the payment of the different team members. And by the way, actually, we're talking about interfacing. we can use the APIs, which is very appreciated by customers. Now today, in terms of programming and linking Visual Plane to other tools of software tools. Louise is asking if we can manage equipment within the tool. Of course, actually, our core business is resource management. So if we need to add to your existing planner or to your future software solution based on visual planning equipment management, we can do that. Please don't hesitate for the last few minutes left for this webinar to share your questions in case you have other questions. Don't hesitate to email us actually on sales@stilog.com, and we can even schedule specific sessions for you if you need to do this, or mainly your contact will do this for already existing customers, visual planning new customers. Well, I see that there are no more questions. There's no more questions so far. So I would inform you that actually the series of questions that we have answered to, and the ones that will be submitted by you, will be sent over past this webinar with the different answers that we will, prepare for you. And of course, you can see the replay if you'd like to, so that you can see some parts on which you would like to come back and explore more. Just waiting a few seconds if there will be any incoming questions. So a newsletter will be sent to you, and please fill in the question that you will receive shortly by our team. Thank you a lot for attending actually our webinar, and we wish you a pleasant day, and hopefully to be in contact soon to explore more capabilities of visual planning. Thank you.